Shalom, shalom, everybody. Shalom. House of Israel. Shalom. Thank the Almighty. We are here at the end of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which is a high Sabbath to us today. And we thank the Almighty for enabling us to get up this morning. Amen? Amen. Thank the Lord for us to come and feast in His Word and in His good food that He prepared for us. Thank the Almighty. So our scripture reading is coming from Psalms 19. Let me put my other eyes on. Psalms 119, and we're going to read from we're going to begin at 113, read through 120. And he that has an ear, let the Spirit speak to your hearts. I hate vain thoughts, but thy law do I love. Thou art my hiding place and my shield. I hope in thy word. Depart from me, ye evildoers, for I will keep the commandments of my God. Uphold me according unto thy word, that I may live. And let me not be ashamed of my hope. Hold thou me up, hold thou me up, and I shall be safe. And I will have respect unto thy statutes continually. Thou hast trodden down all them that err from thy statute, for their deceit is falsehood. Thou puttest away all the wicked of the earth like dross. Therefore I love thy testimony. My flesh trembleth for fear of thee, and I am afraid of thy judgments. Thank the Almighty for his holy word.
As my brother said, this is the seventh day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And we got to just give God all the glory here.
Yes, yes.
Go ahead, give him all the glory. Let's give him a hand clap. Amen. Because we're doing something that most of the world is not doing. And I mean, a lot of it, 99.99% of the world don't understand how to open God's ears. And following his holy days is how you get his attention. And this is why we're here today, not for Jeff, not for LC, not for nobody. We're here for the Lord. Jesus. These are Jesus' feasts. And most of the preachers inside these churches have taken God's way of knowing his people off the table. And how they taking it off the table, they stir it away from his holy days. They got away from the high days. They don't even recognize the Sabbath.
Come on.
And we're here today to recognize one of God's high holy day, which is the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which did fall on the weekly Sabbath. So I want y'all to understand that what y'all are doing is very, very important for your salvation. Very. Including me. We want to make sure we put this out there in the world because a lot of these preachers are scared to do so. It's in the book. All of this is in the book from the Old and New Testament. Why they don't preach it, I know why, but most of the world don't know why. It's because if they preach this, they got a lot of rules and regulations to follow. Like abstaining from bread for a whole week. Bread with yeast in it. We eat the unleavened bread. We eat the unleavened bread every day to do with the instructions of the Lord. So we're going to break this feast down some more. We kind of went over it the first day, but we're going to go back into it so you'll understand why we are here. Let's turn to Leviticus chapter 23, and we're going to start with verse 1. Leviticus chapter 23 and verse 1. This is very important, y'all. Very important. Don't take this lightly. Because 99% of the world has taken this lightly. Leviticus chapter 23. We're going to start with verse 1 to understand God's high holy days and the Sabbath day, which they all are Sabbaths anyway, except for Passover. Leviticus chapter 23, we're going to start with verse 1. Go ahead.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them concerning the feast of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations. Even these are my feasts.
So who doing the talking here? God or Moses? God spoke to Moses. Moses told us what God wanted us to do. He said concerning the feast of who? The Lord, Jesus. Not the Jews. And most people gonna tell you, y'all must be Jewish. No, we ain't Jewish. We Israelites. This is what people don't understand. And we gotta make sure we gotta make sure that we put this in the proper context. And he said, have a holy convocation. That means a gathering like we have today.
That's right.
On this day right here, we are eating toward the feast of the Lord, which is the feast of unleavened bread today. Go ahead.
3. 6 days shall work be done.
Yes, sir.
But the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest and holy convocation. Ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings.
How much of the world? All.
That's right.
This is not just done in Jerusalem. All over the world, he says. Keep the Sabbath day. He's talking about the weekly Sabbath right here, which is the 7th day of the week, come every week. He wants us to make sure we understand this. But we're dealing with the feast of the Lord today. Go ahead.
These are the feasts of the Lord, even holy convocations.
Feast of who?
The Lord.
Lord. You don't know who the Lord is, that's Jesus.
Amen.
These are his feasts. Not Moses, not the Jews. His feasts. If you call yourself a Christian, you should be following this. Not following after Sunday worship, not following after Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, Valentine's Day, and the list goes on. So many people put so much emphasis in Christmas, so much money in Easter, so much money in Christmas. They don't want to put nothing in the feast of the Lord. And people say, how you say that? Why you say that? Because have you? You don't even know nothing about it most of the world.
That's right.
Mainly because that preacher that you are under every Sunday has taken this off the table. Taking it off the table. He have taken your salvation away from you. And this is how you open up God's ears. We're going to find out. Keep going.
These are the feasts of the Lord, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their season.
So it's a season. I mean, it's a time. It's a place. We have to do these things. That means that we are going, we take the feast, it's the Passover first. Now, we're going to go to the Feast of Unleavened Bread that we're in right now. But he's going to tell you right here, we're going to follow the instructions. Go ahead.
In the 14th day of the first month at evening is the Lord's Passover.
So we have a month, and we have a time, and we have a season. The 14th day of the first month, that's what we call Abib in the Bible, which starts in the springtime, not January. We have to take the Passover. We did that last week. The last Friday night, matter of fact, at evening. You always got to take the Passover at evening. That's when the death angel rolled through Israel and killed the firstborn of everything that didn't have the blood on the doorpost. People say, why is this so significant? Aren't you a Christian? Don't you always say, I plead the blood? I plead the blood. How you plead the blood when you don't take part of the Passover? And it happens one time a year. Not communion, as they say, oh, we keep communion. We keep it every first Sunday, second Sunday, third Sunday, fourth Sunday. It happened one time a year.
That's right, annually.
Annually, one time a year.
Come on.
Every year, the 14th day of the first month
Amen.
is the Passover. That's the first one. That's how we kick the new year off in God's calendar. This is a calendar, by the way. Leviticus chapter 23.
Yes, it is.
Go ahead, brother.
Verse 6. And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto the Lord.
Wait a minute. So we got the Passover, which is the 14th day.
Right.
The next day is the 15th day. Now you got people like the Jehovah's Witnesses who say, well, we do the communion or memorial. I tell them, I said, look, you got the 14th day, now you got the 15th day. Why aren't y'all taking part of the feast of unleavened bread? Well, I ain't never know that. It's right next, right in the same scripture.
Scripture, amen. Amen.
They have taken it off the table. The Jehovah's Witnesses. Go ahead. Start 6 on.
And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto the Lord.
Yes, sir.
7 days you must eat unleavened bread.
This is a law. 7 days you must eat unleavened bread. That means bread without yeast in it. Some people call it unleavened cracker. Bread without yeast in it. 7 days you got to eat a little piece of bread to show God we understand why. Go ahead.
In the first day ye shall have an holy convocation.
We did that last, Saturday.
That's right.
We accomplished the Passover, we accomplished the first day, now we on the 7th day. Go ahead.
Ye shall do no servile work therein, but ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord 7 days.
Yes, sir.
In the 7th day is an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein.
And these 7 days right here, we don't do no servile work. That means working for wages. We help clean up the feast and get food prepared. That's not working for wages. That's not servile work. These are instructions you must do to open God's eyes. So we on the last day of the feast of unleavened bread, which is the 7th day. We finish it off, but we're gonna quickly go through the instructions again. Exodus chapter 12 and verse 15. Just want to make sure that you understand what you're doing. It's very, very significant that you know this. And these preachers are taking it off the table. Exodus chapter 12 and verse 15. Let's get some instructions again. Go ahead.
7 days shall ye eat unleavened bread. Even the first day ye shall put away leaven out of your houses.
God wants you to get all that bread with yeast out your house. And he said, for 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread. That means that you don't eat bread with yeast in it. Like we got the little crackers we gave God. So y'all understand what you're supposed to be eating. Just take a little bite off of it and you accomplish the instructions. You did what he told you to do. Go ahead.
For whosoever eateth leavened bread from the first day until the 7th day,
Watch this.
that soul shall be cut off from Israel.
You're going to be cut off. You're going to be cut off. He has to recognize you. He has to recognize me. When that judgment day comes, he's going to see, did you take part of my holy feast? Did you eat bread with yeast in it for that whole week? Did you do this? And people say, man, it ain't that serious. He said it right here. I will cut you off from Israel. Either you're going to be natural Israel or you're going to be spiritual Israel. Meaning that these people that are spiritual Israel, those are the people that are the whites the Hamites, all those people are other nations. They are spiritual Israel if they come under the banner of Israel, meaning they follow these laws. So it's for everybody, not just Jews. Go ahead.
And in the first day there shall be an holy convocation.
These are the instructions. Go ahead.
And in the seventh day there shall be an holy convocation to you.
We did the first day, it's going to be a holy convocation. Now we on the 7th day is a holy convocation. Go ahead.
No manner of work shall be done in them, save that which every man must eat.
Yes, sir.
That only may be done of you.
That's it. No servile work, working for wages, going to your job. You're only supposed to do that. I'm giving you the instruction. You do what you want to do with it. But I ain't working. Go ahead.
And ye shall observe the feast of unleavened bread, for in this same day have I brought you your armies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore,
see what most people don't understand, this feast was the freeing of our people. This is the week that we came out of Egypt. For 400 years worth of slavery, we served, our ancestors served under Pharaoh. 400 years. And God said, look, y'all remember this same day because I set your people free. For a short amount of time, then Israel started messing up. Then we served 400 years on this side. Because we don't want to remember this. We got to remember this. Go ahead.
therefore shall ye observe this day in your generations by an ordinance forever.
How long is forever?
Forever.
Preacher, give me a time on ever. It don't stop. So why aren't you teaching your people inside the church what God said? You a preacher? They won't preach this. And these instructions are tight, airtight. He tell you what you do on this month, which is the first month. He tell you what not to eat. He tell you what to eat. It's real tight. And you gonna try to tell me this ain't, this ain't, you ain't got to do all that. God dealing with bread here. He said if you don't eat this, if you eat bread with yeast in it, which is leaven, I'm gonna cut you off from the house of Israel.
Wow.
You can't get in. This is very important. Now, I know a lot of y'all got these devices. I don't want to see no texting. Go ahead.
Verse 18. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month, at evening,
Yes, sir.
ye shall eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month at evening.
He keep telling you the same thing. For 7 days, you eat unleavened bread. And you gonna tell me we don't supposed to do this, preacher? Go ahead.
7 days shall there be no leaven found in your houses.
Even dealing with your house, get it out. Go ahead.
For whosoever eateth that which is leavened, even that soul shall be cut off from the congregation.
He keeps saying cut off. Cut off. That means that you're not going to be a part of the resurrection. You're not going to be a part of the resurrection. Not going with him. You're going to be cut off. Understand, Christ is from the tribe of Judah. That's the line he came through. He said cut off from Israel. Israel got 12 tribes. You won't be a part of that. And they the one going to run the kingdom. But you saying that you a Christian. And you don't know this? Sound like you a faker. Go ahead.
Even that soul shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether he be a stranger or born in the land.
You're a stranger, meaning that you're not a part of Israel, all these other nations, or born in the land. It don't matter. Just because you're Israel, that ain't like you got to shoe into the kingdom like, okay, I'm in. If you read other scriptures, he said the children of the kingdom are going to be looking on the outside. They ain't going to get in. The other nation going to get in.
Wow.
Because they going to follow this more so than we will.
That's right.
Now let me show you what leaven is. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 7. It's real serious. Why are you so serious? Hell is hot. I tell you what, if you don't know what hell feels like, I'm going to give you a quick little test. Go in your kitchen and turn your stove on. Just put your hand over the island. See how long you can keep it there. And you can maximize that by a billion times. And it's all over your body. You telling me I'm too serious. You better get out of here. Now we're going to show you what this leaven is. He telling us to purge it out, meaning cut it off out your life. Verse 7, go ahead.
Purge out therefore the old leaven.
Leaven is a representation of sin. Purge it out. Talking about leaven. He's just giving you symbolism. He's using bread. Bread that had yeast in it, that's leaven. Bread that don't have yeast in it, that's unleavened. He said, look at this bread, how it rises with leaven in it. But he's not just talking about bread, he's talking about sin. Go ahead.
Purge out therefore the old leaven, that ye may be a new lump,
Yes, sir.
as ye are unleavened. For even Christ our Passover is sacrificed for us.
See, Christ went to the cross so went to the cross and sacrificed himself for us. He wants us to follow him. Purge out the leaven. Purge it out so you can be unleavened, which is without sin. Try your best to keep this sin out your life.
Hallelujah.
Try your best.
That's right.
Understand what he's talking about here. Go ahead.
Verse 8. Therefore let us keep the feast, not with old leaven,
Not with sin. Go ahead.
neither with the leaven of malice and wickedness.
Now he's telling you how to keep the feast. He wants you to be conscious of this for this whole week. Even after this week, all the time be conscious of this. Malice, wickedness. Go ahead.
But with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth.
What do you find truth? The law.
Amen.
If you want to know how to keep it, keep the law. Don't sin. If you don't know the law, you got a lot of homework to do. Go ahead.
I wrote unto you in an epistle not to company with fornicators.
So he's talking about also fornication. Who you hanging with? People that are fornicating, sex before marriage. Don't keep company with. Don't even keep this feast with those people like that. Don't even do it. See, you got to make sure you're conscious of this. This is leaven, this sin. Go ahead.
Yet not altogether with the fornicators of this world, or with the covetous, or extortioners, or with idolaters, for then must ye need go out of the world.
He wants you to come out the world. People say, oh yeah, I know about this. What's going on in that brain of yours? Understand that it ain't just physical, it's mental too. Go ahead.
But now I have written unto you not to keep company with any man that is called a brother, be a fornicator, or covetous, or idolater, or railer, or drunkard, or an extortioner, with such an one know not to eat.
See, this is the leaven he talking about. He telling you this. This is the leaven. He not talking about bread. He talking about sin. This is what he wants us to keep this feast with. Keep this feast. Keep this out the feast. And keep it out your life. Ain't nobody telling you perfect. You perfect, but you just got to work on it. It's my job to share it with you. Do what you will. I'm free of my soul right here, right now. Let's go to Revelation chapter 2. God watching everything that we do. Revelation chapter 2, we're going to start with verse 18. You got to understand this. That every little bit of this word, this Bible you got, when the books are open, y'all understand what he's going to judge you out of. He ain't got a little set of books. He's going to judge you out of this book, the Bible. But most of the people in the world say, oh, the Old Testament has been done away with. You got to do that no more. What's wrong with you? You taking life off the table. He's watching everything. Revelation chapter 2 and verse 18. God watching what we're doing in this body. Verse 18, go ahead.
And unto the angel of the church in Thyatira, write, these things says the Son of God, who has his eyes like unto a flame of fire, and his feet as like fine brass. Now
God telling his angels to tell something to this church. And he written this for our example so we won't mess up like this church. Coming from the man, which is Jesus, he said the eyes of flame and feet of brass. That's a quick note. Brass is brown, right? So Jesus is